Before Season 2 began, I left a post in the Skull and Bones subreddit talking about my favorite moment in the game, getting an assist from a fellow captain. Seriously, when a captain casually helps me out in passing, it is always a good feeling. I'm like, good on you, mate, firework, cheers to you. But the absolute best feeling for me is when I throw up an SOS on the server and moments later I see sails and fireworks on the horizon. Especially when I'm about 2 to 3 minutes into an activity and I think that no one is coming. You'll start to believe that maybe I should back out, but then you get the Skull and Bones equivalent to Falcons on your left cap. An explosion of fireworks followed by 2 beer mugs, 2 crossed swords, a set of rock-on fingers. You get the idea. The cavalry is here. It's a very in-game movie moment that never gets old for me no matter how many times it happens. But in the spirit of good business, I also like to be on the other side of the coin too, being the savior on the horizon with the cavalry in tow, so to speak. You can insert your favorite movie moment right here if you like. My most recent and best example happens towards the end of Godzilla Minus One, when the youngest of the group, Shiro Mizushima, gets sent away and then comes back, saving the day, rolling in with a fleet of tugboats to help pull Godzilla up from the depths. It's like seeing a single captain fighting off a fleet of megacorp galleons or a seasonal boss on their own, and then showing up with a small army to help them pull off a win. And you know they are grateful too because you have been in their shoes. You have been that captain. You've been beaten up by dozens of ships and left with only a small amount of health, praying for anyone else to show up and take some of the pressure off of you. Or you've been the captain who has been sunk 4 or 5 times already and are like, yeah, there's not going to be a 6th time. You have 100% been the captain that checked their map to see where the nearest outpost is located so you can fast travel from it, only to hear the sweet, sweet sounds of cannon fire from friendly ships sailing in. Instant relief washes over you as the salty-ass ocean water washes over the hull of your enemies. Back at the end of Season 1, when I posted in the subreddit, we were dealing with a drastically different fast travel situation. You had to hear an SOS, then locate where you were on the ocean, find the nearest outpost to you, fast travel from that outpost to the nearest outpost to the actual SOS, and then sail in to help a captain. You hoped that they were still there by the time you arrived. But you got to give it to the devs over at Ubisoft. They actually listened to us and implemented an almost instant fast travel system where if someone throws up an SOS, anywhere in the server you can fast travel directly to that SOS. There's no 3 to 4 minute gap unless, you just happen to be too busy to come at the moment. These days, you throw up an SOS, and it's just falcons on your left as far as the eye can see. Skull and Bones is largely a cooperative PvE experience at the end of the day, with a little bit of PvP sprinkled in. Yes, you can actively put on your PvP flag, or you can go over to any of the PvP events that will pop up in the game, but for the most part, it is a shared world where a bunch of captains are working together for a common goal. That common goal being getting as rich as possible and surviving in the process. But one of the things that has caught me completely off guard is exactly how helpful your average Skull and Bone captain wants to be. Seriously, take a look in the subreddit for any topics revolving around assistance, whether someone's getting it or giving it, and then look in the comment section. You will almost always find people singing the praises of the person who gave the help, or you'll see an entire string of comments of people talking about how great it feels to help people out. It reminds me honestly of the No Man's Sky community, because that's another subreddit I belong to that is just full of people who love to talk about how great it feels to help. Yes, we do have our trolls. Yes, we have people who just want to talk about how dead the game is. But just as soon as that gets swept off to the side, it's like, man, I can't believe that I was able to help this person finish this event, or I can't believe that so many captains came to help me out. Oh, were you doing this event? I think it was me. People just, and chances are it's not them, but people are just in love with assistance in this game, and it's cool to see. It's cool to see a captain show up with a support ship and actually have it set up for support, but also playing the support role. Having a captain that's focusing on healing ships almost as much as they are doing DPS on the boss, that's just something that is a rarity. I almost only see it in games like Overwatch, where that's your role and you're playing it. Dude, we get that in Skull and Bones, and man, it is such a great feeling. And probably one of the reasons I keep on logging into this game. Skull and Bones. You are not perfect, but you know what? That's okay, because you're perfect for me. My name is Cash and Stampede. Thanks for coming by.